So good morning. Once again, we're in a cottage milieu working, trying to make a little sanctuary, a bird sanctuary or a sadhu sanctuary. And I didn't even bring a Bhagavad Gita, but we can have a simple quote from the Vedanta Sutra, Athato jignasa. We've mentioned it many times. It is the first introductory sutra, and it means now is the time to inquire about the nature of the Absolute. So, what is this now? We can speak of the eternal now, and there is only an eternal now. Time, as we said many times, is conspicuous by its absence in the spiritual world. So now is always, it's always going on. So we are inquiring now that the time is ripe for the inquiry, or you could say the time is ripe for the inquirer, because when I want to know the Absolute, then I must step forward and inquire, because in ordinary consciousness, especially the consciousness with which we are born, like you say, empirical consciousness, external consciousness, samsara, whatever you want to call it, we are immediately pulled into this world. It says that before we are born in the womb, we are crying, "Oh Lord, let me become self-realized, let me not forget you, let me remain in the eternal brahman." But as soon as we are born, we are crying. And then our mother feeds us, and I'm on my mother's breast, and I think, oh, the samsara is actually quite nice. And then from there on, again, we are trapped into that womb. So to inquire about who I really am, I have to not progress to maturity, but actually progress to prenatal stage, where I was, like it says in the scriptures, crying in the womb of my mother, not to my mother, but actually to the eternal mother, the goddess. I'll be crying to the divinity, either however we want to understand it, in a male form, in a female form, in a multiple form, in the one form. But we're crying. And that cry, the intensity of this cry, is what actually brings us back home again. Because the divinity hears that cry in response to us. So, Athato Brahma jignasa, now we will inquire, and now we will also receive information as to koham vis soham. Om Tat Sat.